Yeah, I think this is really juicy. So, uh, he- here's how I see it.
Yes.
Yes.
Having fun.
Yeah, totally. Um, you want to connect with me in a more raw, alive, intimate, full way on a more regular basis, I would say, to acknowledge that we do have that. And yeah, if I'm really honest, which I will be, I think you're a bit um exporting some of your responsibility onto me, which is to say, I mean, I also hear you acknowledging to some degree that, yeah, you put this cover on and you don't allow yourself the fullness of what you would allow. And if I were to be or do or express in a certain way, that would make it easier for you, or you wouldn't have to fully own and exercise your choice and your agency around how you are with me. So that's one part where I'm gonna kind of
Feeling this is great. I'm loving this.
throw that ball back in your
Yeah.
court, while at the same time I can also acknowledge that part of my growth, which I can track and I'm also in touch with these days, is a kind of, we could say, like an integration of upper and lower, or allowing myself to be rooted in my lower chakras, um, that I think, for whatever probably good reasons in my life, I lifted up away from. So, my recovering from being a nice good boy to not anything, um, you know, uh, inappropriate, but yes, embracing a rawness, a wildness, not needing to be perfect, being an embodied, also, sexually integrated or engaged man, uh, and for sure in my socialization and my learnings, those parts of my being, also my power. Um, yeah, I didn't always or often learn to include those, or that I could, or how I could, in a way that was welcome or worthwhile. So certainly that's shifting, and I hear an invitation and embrace from you about that. So I don't, I say that as a way of kind of validating
Yeah.
the feedback that you're giving. Um, and I think the particular example that you gave, that's my South African bit coming out. Example.
Oh, just went straight in. Didn't even notice.
But I think the particular example that you give from the teaching, I'm not sure I fully agree in that context, because we're really scaffolding a skill set there. So in the same way, I think it's appropriate when practicing tennis to just drill forehands, even though that would be a very incomplete way of playing a tennis match. I do think it makes sense at these early levels to isolate particular way and train that. Um, Not to suggest that that is, which I think I even said in the session, the way to be, but it's one valuable skill and attunement to train very well. But I don't think that's the crux of what you're bringing, and I feel relatively confident about teaching that way. So, but I think the crux of what you're bringing is something real, which, uh, yeah, which we both have a part in. Yeah. So
I'm
how's
fucking loving this. Come
that?
on.
Yeah, and I think there's also actually part of my growth is to be able to say so straight, like, "Actually, I'm gonna let this be yours and not get, which part of it I see as yours, I'm gonna let that be yours."
Yeah, I love that and love you. And you really did that. And for me, you're an example of a recovering people pleaser. And I feel like if there were stages on the road that you're further along than I am. And
Mhm,
you're an example for me of how that can look. Um, because the way you've said that, what I
mhm,
loved actually, what really activated me was when you said, actually, I'm just going to tell you straight, and like activated me in a good way. Like, it brought me into connection with you. And yeah, you said it. I just loved how you said it. It brought something really alive in me of like,
mhm.
what'd you say? Yeah, actually, you're
You're
yeah,
exporting s
exporting.
yeah. Yeah, and that felt good to me also that I could say that in a direct way, but n not that defensive. Maybe a tiny bit, a kind of tiny healthy activation to say, "Actually, this is yours," but actually to be pretty clear about that inside myself. So there's and I think that's probably why you experience it in a positive way, that that there was not a like an aggressive charge. It's just a kind of, "No, this is yours, bro."